There we go, it's better if I actually turn on my mic. This surely will be more efficient. Alright, since we're going live. So I'm gonna... so let's play Golden Sun. The first one, then. I think it's simply entitled Golden Sun. Maybe in Japanese they have like a subtitle, but at least for the international releases, it simply is Golden Sun. So the game that Camelot has made, Camelot Software Playing has made after Shining Force 3. And of course, because that's the same team, and that's also importantly still the Takahashi brothers, director, producer, and main writers, we have a lot of similarities. But I would say that this has far more similarities, with Shining Force 3 than the previous Shining Force. Because the previous Shining Force, that was another development team. Anyway, when it's pertinent, and when to my knowledge there is a link to the Shining Force, mostly Shining Force, that rather than the other Shining games, I will note it. I will say that there's a link, but anyway, let's go. All right, let's go. So, fun fact that I have read. I don't know if you can like see it. Yeah. So under the characters icon, there is your class normally, and for the beginning, the two starting characters that are only there for the intro, Isaac and, as we'll see in just a second, Garrett, they have special classes that are like, so this guy, that are like just lower, less powerful version of the actual class that they will have, that I will start with. I'll explain a little bit the class system because it's like extremely interesting, and I'm sure that I'll do at least one, if not like multiple videos on that at some point. But well, I'll first do a playthrough to have my own recordings for that, and hopefully I won't do too bad. I will try to not use too much of like guides and database to do the playthrough. I'm kind of going blind, even though I understand some principle of the game, and we'll see how it goes. So I think that I can be attacked in this zone. No. Not like we got a choice. Alright, this zone. So as you can see, there is the same kind of thing with the attack animation as what you have in Shining Force. You are behind the character, and then you see the attack animation, and the monster, the camera is still only in one way. It doesn't go 180 to go behind the enemy character. But this time, I very much prefer in Golden Sun than in Shining Force, because you start the battle with all the different characters, and then the attack animation is still only going in one screen. Whereas in Shining Force, it needs to start the combat and end the combat, go into another combat. There's a lot of cuts in between the animation. So I'd rather in Shining Force not have the attack animation, but that's not an option. They never made an option for that. And it seems that the community of I was gonna say modder, but that's not a proper term since we're talking about ROM. Well, the community of hackers, I guess, are not very up to change that. So I guess you can skip the animation in any ROM of Shining Force, even fun projects, and that's how it is. Yeah, just like the fourth time. The music is still great after all this time. I don't know if you can hear it that much, but I think like there are like 2 or 3 audio tracks that are layered on top of each other. It's like really impressive. So this synergy that they are talking about is basically magic power, but instead of being standard magic power, it's like psychic magic power. So, but outside of that, I mean, it's similar to what you have in other games. It's just that one of the incentive of this series of game or 3 games is that they wanted to make magic in general helpful not just in combat but outside of combat. And like the same, some synergy are usable in both. So it's really like important to unlock them. And of course, as you can imagine, there's a lot of puzzle elements into this. So I did replay a little bit, just the very beginning. That prologue sequence as well as the first dungeon, just to refresh myself before the stream, so I more or less know where I need to go. But I bet that I will be lost very early. So Plaza. This and okay, then we need to talk to Jenna. Alright. Wait, is this guy actually in my party for now? No. It's like he accompanies us, but he will leave before we go into an area with monsters. I think that would have been a very good time to not talk and go straight for the action. Maybe it's my barbarian brain, but I'd rather save the guy that's struggling to just barely keep being alive rather than talk about how I recharge my synergy. I don't know if you're supposed to say synergy or synergy. Because in English, at least, the P in some of those stuff starting with C is silent. I'll leave it to your choice. I don't think we got any voices in the GBA title, but maybe we got that in Dog Dawn the NDS and third game. Boop. So bad. More like a nightmare. I like the idea of like letters going crazy. It's a simple idea to convey urgency and stuff. I think it works better than capital letters. All right. Looks like a villain or a punk, but you know, in video games from Japan, punks are more or less always the bad guys. Or they are bad guys that have been redeemed, basically. They can be grey or dark characters, but never good. Because good people wear formal attire, not punk attire. That's how Japanese work. So something that to say about those two characters, as well as two other characters that I don't know if we're gonna see them in this game, but similar to Shining Force 3, apparently, because I didn't play it, but apparently that's one of the things in it. Camelot Software Planning, so the Takahashi brothers, because they were the writers, they wanted to make a game in which you have two points of view, the antagonist and the protagonist. Good game, yeah, I totally agree with that. So they wanted to do the exact same for Golden Sun, but because of cartridge formats, there weren't enough space. So it was broken down in two games, Golden Sun and The Lost Stage, the second one on GBA. But originally it was supposed to be one game. So this guy, I can say right away that there are characters that you use in The Lost Stage. So they are antagonists, but are they bad? Yeah. They are just meant to kick her ass in there. But I wonder if they actually have like coded reasonable stats that you can achieve in game, and that through the help of cheat codes you might actually defeat them. It would be interesting to see if it breaks the game, because I didn't thought about that, but technically if you have like 30 years of your existence that you can put into this game, you could train in the first area 1 XP by 1 XP to get a really high level on the starting characters. I don't know, maybe that's a secret event. I know that there are some crazy people that have in Final Fantasy VII they have went up to level 99 max level in the first area when you have monsters. So I wouldn't be too surprised. Now that I think about it, those Takahashis, they always had a thing with sun, because the main antagonist that they created for most of the Shining games is called Dark Soul. So they have like a fascination for Soul. So we can already get that Garrett is the muscle head of the group. So that's one use of synergy. And that's one of the things that you need to do a lot for a lot of puzzles in this game. Yeah, he's slow indeed. I think that's that's a pun. Yeah, I think she meant slow in terms of thinking speed. I mean, he's a muscle brain, so he's gonna be he's gonna be dumb for this kind of stuff and for girls as well. Fighting is easy, girls are complicated. Yes, of course. Well, it's not so much about stronger ability, it's just that because the others, there were like multiple of them at the same time, and they were still unable to just move the rocks on the side. I think it's just a matter of like either being more or having a lot of synergy points to cast the move spell a lot more. But anyway, they are dead. I like they're having a little reunion on the roof. No more. I think they weren't supposed to say anything about where they were going, and he just sold the thing. And he's gonna get reprimanded. Alchemy is the foundation of synergy. I guess I didn't thought about it when I was a kid, because I played it a long time ago, but the link between alchemy and synergy is that this game used the 4 Greek elements of fire, water, wind, and earth, and these are also the alchemical elements. We're gonna see links with that. An ordinary man. Are you really an ordinary man if you are able to do magic in this world? That's always the question. Any kind of world in which you have magic, it might or might not be, depending on the setting, something standard. Muscle brain strikes again. I mean, what's the point if, like, repairing the roof if it's this fragile to begin with? Because I'm pretty sure that if you want... Holding, I forget how it's in English. But it's like the product of quit culture that usually you can give to cows, but instead in there it's used for isolation. You're supposed to put it on an actual roof, not be stupid enough to just put it on nothing and so that you can pass through it. That's not how it works. But whatever. I hadn't thought about that, but is that the a jingle that you also have in the Shining series, actually? I don't know. Anyway, so we get the Squire Guard and Flame user class for now. So in terms of elements, I've said that there are 4. Earth, wind, fire, and earth. Isaac, or whatever name you give him, but his base name is Isaac, use earth. Garrett and Jenna use fire. And why 2, you may ask? It's because one of the 2 is not gonna stick with us all the time. There we go. No, not my type. There we go. Oh, that's not the house? Okay. I just remember that I needed to do this. But I think there's where the sanctum was. Yeah. So I skipped one part. So if I have to guess, just by the color themes, this guy used water and she's using fire in the second game. But is that really the case? I don't know. I didn't check. Quite the names. Okay. What if I just do this and there? Oh, they keep being there. Okay. So I'm pretty sure that we can all agree that this guy indeed looks very much like a teacher. Sure. So Harry Potter logic, basically, we should report that to the teacher. No, wait. Let's do things ourselves. That's the plan. I mean, I would totally do this, but I don't know if I'm the best reference. Yeah, we're just gonna check. Yeah, sure. This is our little secret. Yeah. Says the more blunt guy around. So, if I have to criticize this interior, I wouldn't install a fire alchemy furnace on wood. Just saying. So, something that I've noticed when I was just going for stuff around, there seems to be a secret over there. And I don't know if it's a gene, which you'll see later for those who don't know the game, but there are many, in fact maybe most of them, that you need to work for with puzzles and all fight them in order to acquire them. So this is where we sneak, if he wants to go into the right direction. Thank you. So now we go for the temple. I mean, is it really this way? Because there's nothing that just prevents you from going through there. So we can go back to fighting. So Jenna has the name fire mage, fire user, flame user. She uses flame magic, and that's more or less just that. The other two, so he's kind of like a paladin of some sort. He has access with his base classes. We're gonna see that this is basically different levels of the same class. They are known as class trees in the community, apparently. He's kind of like a paladin, whereas he's just a beater. So we got AoE on his spot, and she. I don't know if I can. Yeah, I cannot see the stat right now, but she won't have as much attack as the other two. Oh, by the way, I kind of forgot. I should have. I think I forgot to buy them longsword like an idiot. Yeah. Of course, I think that's a good idea. Because I don't know if you got any form of like boss fight in the first dungeon. But anyway. I should have thought about it before. I actually thought about it before going to the sanctum on my first try, but nah, I'm starting to go through the same sequence faster. So I forgot. Whatever. Yeah, in there. In there. And there's a cool feature with the weapon shop in this game. So there is something that you would recognize if you have played the Shining Force game. It's this. This is the equivalent of the deal option that you have in Shining Force. Functions in the same way, more or less. So I don't know if like the mace is good for her, but I will mostly be using her with just a spells. So this is a cool feature that first off, it asks you if you want to equip it right away, contrary to like the very, very old games. But on top of that, they offer you to take away your old weapons right away in exchange for gold. And it's just cool. It's a little detail, but really goes a long way when you are changing weapons dozens of times in a playthrough. And I still have no idea what this game ticket do. That's not something that I remember from the few times before when I played. Alright, now we're backtracking. Oh. Alright. I don't know what is the damage reduction that you get from defending. So despite the fact that Garrett is, in terms of personality, is the musclehead, it's actually Isaac that has higher offense on base. Now, of course, there is a whole lot with the class system and stuff, so it might not be the case after a while. That's in there first. Nope. That's for later. Quake. Oh, something that I have seen when I was checking the class system and stuff. Apparently, so there are modifiers depending on your class with your base stats and stuff, but the actual bonus that you get from level up is fixed. So there is no reason at all to like wait for good level up or bad level up like in the Shining games. They got rid of that, which I think is better. So there is the Jewel. I didn't check, but I'm pretty sure that Quake is also an AoE, so basically all characters have AoE capabilities right off the bat. Actually, can I check? No, I cannot check in outside of combat, the combat synergy. No shit, Sherlock. Oh. So I think that's the one on the right, not the one on the left. So another thing that hasn't changed since the Shining series is that I have no idea if agility only governs speed, which it does, or if on top of that it also governs your dodging and accuracy. For now, fights aren't that technical because it's the beginning, but later I'll have to check what element does the enemy resist and stuff. No, I think it's just a cure. Because I had this item on the previous try. Later, I'm gonna explore everything. But this chest, I remember, it's like nothing special. Not this one. No, I think that's just a zone in which you have enemies and that's it, there's nothing. I mean, it's probably a good place to train, maybe. What? That's really the first one? Okay. So we need that. Oh, maybe actually that was jewel before. I remember there's a chest in which it's just an herb, so whatever. But maybe that's there. Haha. Burn everything to the ground. Okay. I think yeah, because he was max. I think that just by walking you regen your synergy points automatically. Yeah, it's pretty fast as well, actually. So if I remember that this is the one on the extreme right. There we go. Easy. For now, at least. Ah, so this is the one that I remembered previously. Alright. A little bit of puzzle phase right there. Okay. All right. I mean, you don't have to look it too far, actually. I'm on my way. At the end of the world. So, medieval setting, medieval brain. Of course, there are still some people that are flat earther nowadays. Yeah, that's another Greek element thing. Basically, they thought that the four elements that we're talking about were the like combination of them created all matter. Of course, we know that we are more or less made of fire, and through our bones, we are more or less also made out of earth in a way, because we are made of metal. But we're not really made of fire, no wind. So I guess they were like half right. And Jupiter. So, as for why those planets in specifically have been associated with those elements, Mars is I would have thought Mercury actually, because it's the planet closest to the sun. It's like totally bird. But Mars is known as the red planet, so red fire, I guess it makes sense. Jupiter is a gaseous planet made out of constant wind. So it makes sense that this is associated with this. And that was Mercurius. No, what was that? Saturn for water. I'll have to recheck. But we get one planet in our system that is also that is full of like ice. I think, but I'm not sure that's water ice. No, whatever. I think it's constantly made out of water, but there's no land or something like that. I don't remember. It's been some time since I've read something about the planet. Who can say what the truth is? Well, certainly not ChatGPT. I mean, logically, he doesn't really like risk his life actually, because it's water underneath. But it's just like, how do you get back? That's the question. Yeah, that's standard girl's brain. Make the boys take the risk. Whatever. Oh, yeah. You'll need this. Woven. Mithril! So Mithril, of course, has been a theme across the Shining series, so yeah, they are still used it. And what made me getting an interest in getting an interest is that they also use dark matter. Okay, well, I've been informed that I need to go. So I guess that next time we'll start with that. Well, that was shorter than I expected, but whatever. Thanks for watching. Next time we'll see jeans and like actual stuff of the